Hi everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to Anime Debate. I want you to know this is my spoiler-free review. And before we get started, I want you to also know that there will definitely be a Devilman 1972/1987 review versus the Devilman Crybaby series. So I want to just jump into that right away so you know that there is more content coming on this channel. So if you like that kind of thing, please subscribe now so you don't miss a single video. Now, today's review is going to be very simplistic because I do not want to spoil a single thing because this anime is best watched without anything being spoiled for you. That even goes with saying, don't watch the 1987 movie. There are two 50-minute movies, I think three really, but the third one doesn't connect as well. But the first two kind of give a little bit of the plot away, but in a different, in a different structure and in a much more exploratory way, if that makes any sense. Really, the 1987 version gives you more reason for the reason that things are happening, and it actually makes a lot more sense, but it will spoil major plot points of this Crybaby series without really destroying everything else that it has, because it does its own original thing past the first set of episodes. So let's dig into this. So this thing has a lot of violence. Like you see blood splatters pretty regularly in this. You see people getting cut in the face, people getting severed. Again, it's that 1987 feel of anime, back when manga was the big distributor, when you always see somebody's boobs flying around on the screen, but then also a severed head in the next scene. This is what this thing kind of gives a little bit of homage to. That was the norm back then. When, you know, things like Fist of the North Star or Akira, you might go, well, yeah, that's what happens. Heads explode. Boom, baby. But that's not the norm in today's anime. So if you're going to this thinking like, oh my gosh, this thing is really grotesque, go back and watch some anime back in the day and you'll see that it's not that bad. It's actually kind of tame in comparison. What do you call it? The animation here is very simple. They go for a more loose form. They allow the characters to have more expressive faces. They don't really go with a lot of realism, and I think that really works for this kind of genre, because you're going to get a lot of really creative, weird creatures. Even if you look at the old school one, you'll see some of the same characters or creatures recreated, but they're just much more loose here, and I think it really lends itself to the genre because you don't really get a chance to get comfortable with anyone's particular stylistic choice. I really do like how they do it. It makes me think a lot of Fooly Cooly and just kind of that loose, free-flowing format, and I love it. It really does work here. Even though you think that because things are so dark and the anime at times can be extremely grueling and hard to watch because of some of the drama, and it's honestly at times it's heart-wrenching. It really does hurt to watch. You feel for these characters. You really do. You get attached to people, and the number one rule of any anime like this is don't get attached because they may not be around very long. And that makes me sad because they build up these characters in a very, very, very quick fashion, and I am surprised how much I wind up caring about characters that I only saw about 3 or 4 times. They also introduce elements to really give the show a lot of heart and a lot of soul, like rapping, which might sound dumb, but there is this Japanese language rapper in the show, and he just does a really good job of giving himself a lot of humanity through his flows. I found myself stopping and reading what he was saying in English because I put on the subtitles and just wanted to see what was going on, man. I've also watched this thing both in subtitle and dub, and both are excellent. I really can't tell you one is better than the other. If you are having a lazy day and you don't want to look at the screen the whole time, which you might want to stare at the screen for this whole thing, because what happens is sometimes said without being said, and you need to actually pay attention. But if you want to be lazy and not look at the screen, the dub is a great choice, in my opinion. This thing also features a lot of sex, a lot of sexual situations. There is one point where I'm just like, I don't know why he did that. There was no point other than just to show a girl's boobs and maybe some orgasm noises. I don't really know the point of that. But for whatever reason, it helps build the character of Akira and just kind of show how he's changed. But again, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. There are boobs galore. If you like boobs, this is your thing. If you are doing no fap, you may not want to watch this because there are a lot of sexual situations here, and they're not shy to really embrace them. And I think that's, again, going back to that old 1987 style of anime, or at least what I experienced in the 90s, of them not being afraid to show sexuality because this is their form of media in which they can really express themselves in a creative fashion. There's also a lot of disturbing content here. Again, if you're a fan of the heart or if you are hyper-religious, I think I'm religious, right? and some of this stuff was hard for me to really just sit through, but I made it through, and I think I am I'm rewarded for it. Another thing you can be rewarded for within this show is if you watch the entirety, which is it's only 10 episodes, and each one's about 22 minutes or so if you skip the intro and the end. Watch it all over again, because things that didn't make sense before now make sense and are explained. It's kind of cool. I went back and rewatched the first like 3 episodes. I'm like, oh, now I get it. The show is both poignant and depressing at the same time. And again, it really gets at your heartstrings and can tear you apart if you are very sensitive. So I just want to warn you about that. But overall, it is an excellent show. I highly implore you to watch it. It is on Netflix right now. I don't have anything more to say unless I do a spoiler review, which I'll do later. But anyway, if you guys want to see my spoiler review, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know that you like what I'm doing here. Also, I will be doing my versus episode of the 1972 and the 1987 versus the Crybaby series. So let me know what you think with a comment. Did you see this thing? Are you excited for it? Could you stomach it? I barely could. But my name is Chris, and have a great day, and anime on.